Guru Nation, how's it going? I'm here with Jaime Valles. He's the
How's it going?
nurse practitioner, co-founder of this great establishment, Yuma Clinical Trials. Look, guys, this is now 2 years, not 2 years and a half, but like 2 years and a few months.
A little bit more, yeah.
That if you've been following, you know, like we're finally starting to do well. Profit-wise, we've been having consistent dividends for the owners. We've had our share of challenges, though.
Oh, yeah.
Staff turnover, managing staff. This last week, I had to write 2 Kappa plans. Luckily, those are the only Kappas I've wrote all year. But they both happened in like the last week on different studies. So we're learning a lot still, fixing up the Creo. We're using Creo for the e-source. And we're trying to figure out now how to like structure the business so that, I guess, the operation wise, how to streamline it so that it's like more efficient. But we've even discussed like using different offices for different visits. And today we ran into issues with like lack of space at the clinic we're in.
That's right.
Which luckily we have our own space that we can use now. It looks like we're gonna have to. It's a good thing we got that.
And that's
site.
a good thing we have that site. Yes, definitely.
So what have been your thoughts, like as a clinician NP so far in these 2 years? Like your thoughts, your challenges, 2 years later, maybe.
Yeah. Well, definitely patience. As far as one of the things is setting everything up from the beginning, putting things in place, getting the doctor. We're lucky to have our PI. He's awesome. It's probably the best clinic we could have got.
Yes.
Then
Dr. Smith, shout out to Dr.
definitely.
Smith.
Yeah, Dr. Smith and all his staff. They have, what is it, 9 providers in the office?
Yeah.
So every day, one of them is off. So we have a couple rooms that we can use for our patients. But today, it happened that everybody was working, so we were running out of space. And then we had 3 patients today, which is great for the clinic. As Dan was saying, we're getting where we need to be. And just being patient in the beginning, I would say that would be the first thing, right? To get everything going, everything rolling. And then on top of it, the profit, you unless you have a lot of money saved, you can't just rely on this to be your income. You gotta have either some save or another source of income.
Until probably year 3 or 4.
Yeah.
To replace like a NP salary, for example.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
But if you're a coordinator wanting to start your site, you can do that probably in the first year.
Yeah, that's right. So that. I would definitely say, pay attention to the details. As they say, the devil's in the details. Just like any other contract you sign, there's protocols.
Our one coordinator, she only worked for a week. She's had the line of the year. It's a piece of cake if you read, is what she said.
Yeah, so the Kappa plans that Dan was saying, it's little things,
and it's all e-pro, like e-patient reported outcomes, the stuff Robert Goldman was telling us about.
Yeah.
That stuff is becoming the source documents, guys, the e-diaries.
Yeah.
And those are becoming super important as part of the data. It's no longer something you just overlook and give the patient. Those are like qualification material in there, and if you rush through it, you're gonna make mistakes, which we learned the hard way, and now hopefully we won't have to make those mistakes again. It's understandable with newer staff, but ultimately you got to fix those things.
That's right. And those scales the patients do, whether it's a pain scale for a pain trial or whether it's a depression for any other study or whatever it is, not because they score okay at the screening, they're gonna score okay at the randomization. So that was our learning curve. We gotta be very careful with those. And if it's something exclusionary, make sure you pay attention to those. And so because life happens, right? Life happens, pain, they could have twisted their knee if it's a knee pain and scored more than what they needed to score. Or they're doing great and pain is less than what the inclusion criteria is, and then they don't qualify. So just, I would say, pay attention to those and be patient and just be consistent too. I think that'll be the 3 things that I learned so far in this.
That's good, and we're getting lucky. Caught the obesity wave, the GLP-1.
That is right.
Numerous sponsors now are doing obesity studies. We started out getting the studies nobody wanted. Remember?
God, those studies were the hardest ever.
I tell everyone, when you're brand new, you're gonna get the studies no one else wants. When you get established, and for us it happened quick, 2 years, even a year and a half.
Yeah.
We started getting the desirable studies where now we have colleagues of ours, hey, how did you get those studies? Well, I think it's because of our location.
That and I actually think we've been doing very good. You know, with like as Dan said, he had to do a couple of CAPA plans, but it's because little things and in anybody's mind, I would say the reason for those it wasn't even a major reason, if you will, but protocol is a protocol, and we have to follow that to the detail. So if it says
not whether you like to follow it or not,
right.
Like some doctors that we saw on podcasts with warning letters.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't like that part of the protocol. We'll ignore it. No, it's not for you to decide.
No, we have to. And then the other one is be honest. Like if we're all human, we all make mistakes, and hopefully it's not a big mistake that would be like a safety one. Which in our case, I don't think it was, but you just have to be, very pay attention to the details, right?
Now, what about staffing? This is brand new for you. You've never managed people before,
ever. Well, I was a nursing supervisor where I worked at the hospital for a number of years, so we kind of managed people or employees, nurses and nurse assistants, but not to the point where I had a say on hiring because I was part of the hiring panel that did the interviews, but it was not my decision. It was everybody say what they like, what they didn't like, and then it was a director call at the end of the day. But now when it's our call and you're looking for specific qualities of the applicant, you don't necessarily, like for me, and I think Dan as well, we're not looking for somebody that knows exactly what they're doing. We're looking for somebody that is teachable, somebody that will be humble, if you will, that will take good feedback, and that it's eager to learn. Those are things that we look for. Not like, I have X amount of experience, and I've done this, I've done that, and I know how to do all of this, because that will be the people that make the most mistakes. The patient, the staff that is looking to learn, paying attention to the details, and is willing to. That's the best stuff you can get. In my point of view, sometimes it's easier to get somebody that is younger, that hasn't been trained with bad habits, if you will, and just train them right, rather to get somebody that has bad habits already and trying to correct those. So
yeah, that's why I like Research Naive. And now we're gonna go back to the clinic and answer some queries, because in one of our studies, I got a question, and I'll do a separate video. What's the difference between EDC and eSource? In one of our studies, there is no difference. It's the same thing. And because Jaime happened to be the one to generate the source, we got a query. He's got to fix it. So I got to show him how to do that.
I've never done those. So we'll be learning something new today as well. But it's a good journey. It's a good journey. It teaches you a lot of different stuff to look for as well, and to see life in a different perspective, not just like, I'm the employee, I'm gonna go do my job, clock out and go home, but rather like, we have to make sure everything's done. Employees are taken care of as well, and like one of the new things that we're gonna do for the SOS conference, we're gonna we want our employees to go. We want our employees to have that exposure. So what we'll do is we'll bring them over. Dan and I talked last week, and we're gonna pay them to go, and like if it was work for them, because and at the end of the day, it's gonna benefit us having them there and having all that exposure,
meet other coordinators, and
and see that what other people are doing, sharing ideas and whatnot. So it'll be good. Hopefully everybody can go. SOS conference.
Thank you, Jaime. Thank you for that. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Stay tuned for more, guys. Catch you guys later. Bye-bye. Oh, Jaime's LinkedIn's underneath this video, too. Bye-bye. Go follow him.
Take care.